morning, everyone. Good morning. Good to see each and every one of you this morning.
You have one. This one for you.
For those of you who are viewing online, those of you who are dialing in to listen, I greet you in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Happy Father's Day. It's indeed a good day to be alive. But for me, any day, it's a good day to be alive. This morning, we're going to get right into this lesson. There's a lot of things to cover, and we only have a certain amount of time. The lesson this morning is entitled Ruth Follows Naomi. Ruth follows Naomi. The scripture has been read. It comes from the book of Ruth, Old or New Testament. Old or New Testament. Where do we find Ruth?
Old Testament.
Right. Chapter 1, verses 1 through 9, 14b, and verse 16. Ruth follows Naomi. If I had to put a subtitle to this story, it would be A Family in Crisis. A Family in Crisis. We all know the story. Today, the Lord is leading me to focus on, in this story, as an illustration of family. A family. Actually, there's two families involved here. The first, we will find out in verse 1 and 2. The family today is in crisis. Every family all around the world has nothing to do with your gender, has nothing to do with your race. Families are in crisis. God help us. And He is helping us. In this story today, we're going to see a family that endures a tragedy. But it ends up in a way that brings blessings not only to the family, but to a nation of Israel and to all mankind. There's hope in this story today. There's hope. Let's take a look at verse 1 through 1 and 2. And as I said, the scripture has already been read. We're going to take a look at the first incident of this family. A migration is underway. Ruth, her husband, her sons, they leave their homeland and they go over to Moab. Can someone tell me, how is that? Why did they leave home? Why did they leave?
There was a famine in the land.
There was a famine in the land. Some of your parents and forefathers came up north because they couldn't find work in the south. They were being discriminated against. Hence, that's why we migrated. Families today, when they can't make ends meet in one part of the country, they migrate. Let's take a look at the migrants coming all the way from the various countries, going through all sorts of things just to get to America. And when they get here, they find themselves, these migrants, I didn't have anything when I left, and I have nothing when I get here. Help us, Holy Ghost. Naomi and her husband and her two sons migrate. They go to Moab because there's famine in Israel. They're home. They leave. Sometimes, my first point I want to make this morning is God's people are not only automatically exempt from the difficulties of life. Let me say that again. God's people are not automatically exempt from the difficulties of life. She goes when they get there, the first thing that happens, in verse 3, it says her husband dies. My goodness. I'm leaving one place to get to another because there's famine. But we're going to take our family, we're going to start something new, hopefully it'll be better. And we get there, her husband dies. And now she's left with what? Two sons. I got a mother and two sons. Her husband represents the family structure because in those days, and as opposed to these days, the man was looked for to provide for his family. What happens when there's no man in the house? It's no different today. The families are under attack, and one of the first things that got attacked was the man. All right, let me help you out here. Y'all remember back in that first book of the Bible called Genesis? How the devil came and attacked the family. Mr. Blue, what you talking about the family? Well, the first family was Adam and Eve. That's the first family. My point is, the family was always under attack. You know the story. I won't go into that. But once the man fell, the family got affected. But there's no man in place. The foundation that God has established is in place. The family suffers. She's now left with two kids. Go to the next slide for me, please. There's a scripture in Job 1 and 2. And I like this scripture. And it goes something like, if you can get it, someone get Job chapter 14 for me. If you have your Bible. If not, then we'll move on with it. And we'll come back to it. You know, remember our scripture said, a man who's born of a woman is of a few days, but full of trouble. That's the truth, brother. Life is full of trouble. Life is full of trouble. While you're looking for that, let me go on to my next point. Her husband died, she left with two sons. So the two sons says, in verse 4, it goes on to say, and they took them wives from Moab. And they dwelled there in the land for 10 years. All right? Sometimes God chooses to allow circumstances that will leave him as our only hope. I would have thought, I got my mother, here's the two sons. We're going to take care of the mother, right? Why do I need to go get me a wife to add to the family? And now I'm responsible not only for my mother, I got responsibility for my wife. Y'all looking at me like, hey. Isn't it enough that I'm having trouble taking care of my own? Why would I go get somebody else to bring into the household that now another mouth to feed? When you suggest that may suggest you that's just more pressure I'm putting on myself. Remember, now, back in those days, the father is the head. So when the father is displaced, the son takes on the responsibility to take care of the family. Not like today. Oh no, not like today. You can have about 5 sons. And when the man moves out of the picture, them sons, although we would hope and say, I got a good child, my child takes care of me. That's not the case for all families. Not the case at all. The attitude today is, I'm going to take care of myself. Mama, you on your own. You can always remarry. Let me just put a plug in there. Just because you remarried doesn't mean that man going to take care of you. Okay? Better know what you're married to. Okay? I figured if he can't take care of himself, how can he take care of you? And then what happens? What happens, guys? They die. Now, ain't this something? The two sons died with brand new wives. I don't know about you. I'm not going to get in trouble. It's just ladies. We're going to just talk a little bit. We got a brother. We got a brother. All right. Y'all, don't y'all get me in trouble, please. My mama used to say, I can do bad by myself. I don't need nobody to do bad with me. I miss my mama, y'all. She used to have some sayings. I didn't know what she was saying. But now, I have lived a little bit. I can see a little bit now, based on my own experience. They married two girls, and now the little boy up and died. Go to the next slide for me, please. You can. They up and died. And the family now finds themselves in another tragic situation. You remember? Ruth, the husband, two sons, cousin Moab, there was a famine in the land. All right? They had to travel. Tragedy number one. They get there, the husband died. I'm sorry, tragedy number one. The sons say, okay, mama, we're going to take care of you. We're going to bring some wives in. They married, and the sons died. Tragedy number two. You would look up to God and say, how much more can I take? Looks like there's one thing after another after another. I'm here to tell you, God knows. God knows. Have you considered that these circumstances are part of your growth? Would you consider it? I would never consider it if I'm going through it. Now, once I came out, I can look back and I can recall a little bit, but not when I'm going through it. I'm like, Lord, why me? And if you're at my house, I always say that. And you know, my wife always tells me when I said, Lord, why me? I hear her saying, why not you? Why not you? Can I share something with you? You're built for it. You're built for it. Your individual situations that you're going through, you are built for that. I didn't say I was built for it. I said you are built for it. The God we serve is an intentional God. He knows how much that you can bear. I don't know how much I can bear, but he does. And I've learned and still learning to depend on him. No matter what it looks like, no matter what I feel like. After I get through drying the tears from my eyes, get up off that floor and say, now, I got to do something. Lord, I don't know what to do. Order my steps. Direct my path. Show me. Just show me the next step. Well, let's go on and see what the next step is in Ruth. In Naomi's situation. Now that the two sons have died, Naomi says to herself, now my husband dead, my son, now God has gave me these two women. Now what are three women going to do in Moab by themselves? You got to understand the customs back then. If you had no man to take care of you, you were out there on your own. There was a lot of widows. Nobody took care of the widows. I wish I had time. I'd take you to the book of Acts. Oh, God, help us. For the first church and how it got started, the conversation, because there were widows without being fed. And they said to the disciples and said, what are y'all going to do? Let me move on. Verse 6 says, then she rose with her daughters-in-law that she might return from the country of Moab. Now, for she had heard, now this is something here, for she had heard in the country of Moab how the Lord had visited his She came to Bethlehem, where there was a famine. Now, she heard that the Lord is providing bread. She didn't have any eyewitness came back and said, here's the bread that the Lord has provided. But she heard it. Let me take some time to point this out. Even though she had no evidence, sometimes the Lord will allow your situation to get so bad that you will move and you will look to him for the next step, because all your other alternatives are all gone. Let me try that again. Sometimes the Lord will take a situation, and for you, it'll appear so bad that now the only person that's left for you to go to is him. Oh, Lord. I couldn't go by my husband. He did. Can't allow my son. They did. And Lord, you just saddled me with these two other girls. I'm in crisis. I'm throwing my hands up and saying, Lord, just take me down. But she said, I heard. There's a little hope there. The possibility. And sometimes when I'm in crisis, all I need is a little hope to move me to do something. After she heard, she got up. Verse 7. Wherefore she went forth out of the place that she was, her and her two daughter-in-laws with her, and they went their way to return unto the land of Judah. A little hope moves me to take a step. If she would have, let's suppose, if she would have stayed in Moab, what would be the possibilities? What would have happened to her and her two daughter-in-laws? Talk to me. What would be some of the possibilities? What could have happened to them if they stayed in Moab? They'd be homeless. No food. No one to protect them. It could have been from my husband died, my son died, I'm going to die. Or before I die, I'm starving, I'm homeless, nobody to protect me. It goes from bad to worse, the possibility. She says, I have nothing to lose. At least let me go home. Let me go back. I remember 1982, I left home after graduating from college. I had an obligation to the United States Air Force. And a week before I left, my mom sat me down and she says, listen, Craig, I want you to know a couple things. I know you're a college graduate, but remember I told you, as long as you remain silent, nobody will know how big a fool you are. She said, once you open your mouth, they're going to realize something. So my advice to you is listen more and talk less. What a thing for a mother to give to a son, right? I thank God for her. She said, but now, if things don't work out, she took him by my hands. She said, son, if things don't work out in the military, she said, I want you to know something. As long as mama's got breath in her body and a place to live, you can come home. Woo! My God. My God. I thought to myself, you ain't got to worry about me coming back here. After 21 years of living under your roof, given a choice, you think I'm coming back here? But I appreciated that so much. I didn't realize how much I appreciated it till later on, when things got tough on me in the military. Let's move on to this. I don't have time, but I've given you some scripture. Check out Matthew 5:45, James 1:17. There, in that verse 7, she says, I return home. The other point I want to make here, a wise person recognizes that every good thing is from God. A wise person. She says, I left home because they were famine, that the Lord has visited his people back in Judah, Bethlehem. I'm going back home. That's wisdom. She said, if I'm going to die anyway, let me die at home, not in a strange land. Because if I die here, who's going to bury me? I don't know nobody. Nobody knows me. That's another point to note. A wise person recognizes that every good thing is from God. Verse 7, she went back home. And this is what I gave you an example. My mom gave me this. She said, no matter how things get, difficult things get, as long as I'm alive, you can always come home. That's the other point in the story to look for. She went home. She didn't know what she was going to find, but that was a familiar place to her. All right? Any questions so far? Any comment? All right. Let's look at verse 8 and 9. Naomi said unto her two daughters-in-law. Now, Naomi made her mind up. She's going home. But I like Naomi for the fact that she wasn't selfish about herself. She said, I'm obligated to these two girls. Families today, when your son or daughter marries, whether you agree with who they marry or not, they still are part of your family now. Now you got two choices. You can find a way to get along, or you can fight like cats and dogs. All right? And if you fight like cats and dogs, there's going to always be crisis in your house. Some of you guys say, well, I'm living over here and they living over there, and I'm going to mind my own business. It never works out that way. Because somehow they find themselves to your place. Because if you got a son, mother love their kid. And they call up mom and you don't understand what that woman doing. And you like, oh, son, let me talk to her. She can't. Where's the wisdom in that? Teach them how to deal with some issues rather than responding to things. She says, daughter-in-laws, I'm going home now. I'm going to return. And she said, my advice to you is for you, each of you, go to her mother's house, which would suggest to me that the two girls' families were also under crisis. Interesting. The Lord dealt kindly. May the Lord, she gives them a prayer. She said, may the Lord deal kindly with you as ye have dealt with the deaf and with me. May the Lord bless you. Go home. Your husbands are dead. You have no obligation to me. I'm going home. And I wish you well. That's a nice mother-in-law. Some of y'all be sitting back going, girl, you got to take care of me. Go in there and cook me something. I don't know where you get it from. You're obligated. Don't try that today because in-laws, daughter-in-laws, son-in-laws, they don't feel obligated to the families no more. That's why I tell you, ladies, be careful who you're dating and who you're marrying. You're never going to know everything about them. Let me just tell you that. I have my wife laughing all the time. I said, honey, when I first met you, I sent my representative. She said, who is that? I said, that was me, but that wasn't me. I just showed you all the things that you wanted to see and told you what you wanted to hear. I'm real about it, folks. So when you made your decision, trust me, you saw it all. Now, if you were blindly in love, God bless you. Verse 8 and 9. The Lord grant you that you may find rest. This is Naomi telling her daughter. Each each of you in the house of her husband. She did kiss them, and they lifted up their voice and wept. She said, go home, back home. Y'all young enough, you can find husbands to take care of you. I wish you well. God bless you. The point I want to make here is sometimes our difficulties should never prevent our desires for God's blessing on others. Our difficulties should never prevent us from our desires for God's blessing on others. In other words, don't wish people bad because you're going through. It is hard, but it is wise for someone who's going through to encourage you. I used to visit folks, and I still do, they call and say, I heard about your tragedy, and I go on, and they say, well, wait a minute, I'm so glad you called me because God put you on my heart. And I want to thank you, and I pray to God that he strengthens you. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm calling to encourage you. And you end up encouraging me. Look how that works. Now, don't get on the phone, they call you up, they're going, oh, this. And you ain't got a chance to say nothing on the phone. No, they just keep rattling off all their problems to you. All right? Where's the encouraging part? I heard about all your problems. Where's the solution part? What are we going to do about it? Okay? Naomi said, I'm going home. She kissed them and wished them well. Finally, verse 14, B and 16. In this particular scripture, you find these two ladies give a response. Her daughter-in-law, both of them, gives a response back to the mother-in-law. After she's prayed for them, blessed them, told them it's best for you to go back home. You're young, you can remarry. You got a life ahead of you. I'm an old woman. I'm going on back home. Lord, help me. And one daughter-in-law receives the wisdom of her mother-in-law. She says, yeah, I think you're right, Mom. I'm going to go on back home. Going back to my family. But Ruth, Ruth holds on. Let me give you a visual. Here she is sitting with her two daughters-in-law. One, with tears in her eyes, said, Mother, you are right. I'm going to go home, back to my house, back to my mama's house. And she kisses her mother-in-law, and she leaves. But Ruth, sitting, cleaving to Naomi, holding on to Naomi, said, wait a minute. I got the same option. I could go back home. But I'm going to stay. I'm going to stay. You remember in the beginning of the story, I told you there was two families. First off, you had Naomi and her husband, her two sons, and they leave Moab. Family number one. The husband died. The sons died. But before they died, they married these two Moabs. Now, there's a second family here. You have now Naomi and her two daughter-in-law, family number two. My God. Now there's a decision got to be made. Naomi says, I'm going back home because I heard that God has provided bread in the land. I'm going back home. She's down to Naomi and her two daughter-in-laws. Now a decision is made. The first daughter-in-law said, you're right, Mother. I'm going to go back home to my mama's house. she's only left with Naomi and Ruth. There's a third family there. My God. How can a tragedy, I want to point this out, tragedies not only affect your family, it can affect all the folks in the family. Let me say that again. If my mama called me up and she said, son, I'm in desperate need of $50 to pay a bill, all right? It affects me. I said, Mama, whatever I have to do, you got it. Because if I can't provide for my own mother, how can I provide for a wife? How can I provide for kids? I'm obligated. God is obligated to the families. Why would you say that, minister? Because back in Genesis, when he made the structure for his family, he said, I'm obligated. I'm obligated to take care of the family. Adam didn't have to work a day in his life in that garden because God provided. He provided then for the families. He'll provide now for the family. Let me wrap this up. Verse 16. And Ruth said, entreat me not to leave thee. I beg you. I'm not going to leave. I'm not going back home. We don't know what a home life was. Whether it was not so good, could have been rich. I don't know. But something about her relationship that she had developed with Naomi wouldn't allow her to leave. She said, I'm not going to leave you nor return following after them. Check this out. Naomi says, I'm going to go ahead and go. She said, I told you I'm not going to leave you, and if you start walking off, I'm going to follow you. You ain't getting rid of me that easily. For whether thou goest, key verse, I will go. And whether thou lodgest, I will lodge. Thy people shall be my people, and thy God my God. She says, Naomi, all I know is you and how you treated me. And if your people are anything like you, and your God is anything like you've shown me, that's the kind of God I want. I want that God. I want to dwell among those people. Sisters and brothers, as we are representing God here on earth, we got to be a family. If we say we're a church family, then we need to act as though we are. Let us be authentic so that people can see, I want to be a part of that. I want that. I don't have that. But what you've shown me has made me hungry and has made me thirsty that I want to come and says, I want some of that. The last point I want to make. In that verse 16, you will see a young woman showing her loyalty to now Ruth. There are only two left. Ruth shows loyalty to Naomi. There are only two left. Following God, my last point, following God involves sacrifice, but also the hope of his sure provision. She says, I'm not going nowhere. So since you're going back home, but not going, I'm going. You ain't got a house, wherever you lodge, I'm a lodge. But I'm going with you. And I made my mind up. Are there any questions? Let me conclude this lesson. Next slide. And I'll be done. Huh? I got a question? What's the question? Where? What? Got a mic? Microphone?
No, it's
Oh, over here. I'm sorry. I'm looking. Keep looking over there. Let me get it. Thank you.
To me, this still, in the back of my brain, it is assurance that probably God is guiding her. Because we know the ultimate purpose of this was to set up the lineage of Jesus. So, yes, she was loyal, but if God is guiding you, just like he created the earth, you can be sure that you're going to end up doing what he tells you to do.
The practical side of this is we all have an advantage that Ruth, Naomi, other people back in the Bible did. We got the whole story. But yet, even though we got the whole story, we still don't move to do. We're quick to hear. The Lord's working on me with this one. He says, you hear me well, but you don't act on the hearing. Some of us are just satisfied with just hearing from God. And I'm here to tell you, don't be satisfied with just hearing. Because the hearing is important. But the doing comes together. When I got a hearer and a doer, then the provisions are limitless. Whatever you need, just go do. But I don't know. Yeah, I know you don't know. I didn't ask you what you knew. I asked you to do. In other words, trust me. Work on our trust in God. Let me conclude this. This is a wonderful lesson for all of us in today's story. We were all once outsiders, outside the realm of God's kingdom. But through his grace, he has invited us back inside as part of his family. We did not deserve it. But God, in his mercy, forgave our sins through Jesus Christ, and made us his very own. Just as Ruth found a new family with her mother-in-law Naomi, so we have found a new home in Jesus and what he did for us on the cross of Calvary. Now is our calling. This is our calling, sisters and brothers, to help others find a new community in the family of God. We're obligated. We're obligated. And if we're obligated, God will be obligated to you because he's asking us to be obligated to him. Are there any questions? Any comments? Next week's lesson is entitled Ruth Beat Boaz. Y'all like that one. I've never met a Christian woman say, I'm looking for my Boaz. And I'll be like, there he is. Y'all didn't see this. I said, there he is. I was pointing over there to Pastor Kerr. Pastor Kerr started looking around. Amen. Are there any questions? Any comments?
I have some trivia I'd like to share.
Oh, come on.
Okay, in verse 14 where it says, and Orpah kissed her mother, Oprah says her grandmother really wanted her to be named that. But the person who did the birth certificate misspelled it, and so now it's Oprah, but of course it worked to her advantage, so.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Any other comments? Any more trivia? It is Father's Day. Y'all pray for Father. We all need prayer. The family is under crisis, but the family is never alone. Pastor, got a microphone.
Some of the key points I saw in this lesson was while Naomi was dealing with bereavement, and then suddenly after, Orpah and Ruth were dealing with bereavement, and seeing that even though they dealt with these tragic instances, that God still prevailed and also was with them, but also Naomi was showing them how to be strong in the midst, because she had already dealt with it. And so with Naomi showing them how to be strong, with Naomi showing Ruth and Orpah how to be strong, Ruth and Orpah still showed their loyalty to her because she was a good mother-in-law. Most time when people, sometimes when people in marriage situations or in-laws, once that person that's connected to them passes away, they don't always keep in touch with each other. But she wanted to still show them, even though that my sons have passed, you all are still my daughters.
That's a part about being a family. Who's teaching you? Who's teaching us? Who's teaching our kids? We're obligated. Well, somebody said, ain't my kid. Well, if you think that their behavior may not affect you, may not affect you now, but it could affect you. Point out some things. I know they don't want to listen. But you ask the Lord, how do I deliver it to them? How do I say it? It's a time and tough time. If there's nothing else to claim our attention, let's bow our heads for a word of prayer. Father God, we thank you for this opportunity. Father, you have shown us that you are a God of family. As you have so many times, we are your children, and you are our Father. Teach us now. Give us what we need, the strength, the fortitude, the wisdom, Lord. The wisdom to be a father. The wisdom to be a mother. The wisdom to be a